Did you guys see the footage of those red lights seen over the ocean? Some Stranger Things shit. Look.
This was spotted over the North Pacific during the early morning on the 17th of July 2022 from a commercial flight at 39,000 feet with no land masses nearby. The coordinates are 50 north and 167 east. As you can see, they're nowhere near any landmass of any kind right in the middle of the Pacific Ocean.
Is Oprah Winfrey who you think she is? Let's talk about it. Oprah seems to have a really bad habit of linking herself to some of Hollywood's most notarized sex offenders and schmetophiles, including but not limited to the spiritual sex offender himself, John of God, Donald Trump, Jeffrey Epstein, Steven Tyler, and her very, very weird relationship with Mr. Me Too himself, Harvey Weinstein. Now, I know we like to believe that, birds of a feather just don't flock together, but I believe that Oprah's case, this is very, very wrong. Not only has Oprah aligned herself with the likes of these people, but she's also came in defense of these people, even after they were convicted of said allegations. Now let's watch this video together about Oprah speaking about child victims of sexual assault.
This is what so many people don't understand. A big part of the confusion and shame for child victims is that the attention and the seduction from the predator, who is probably going to be somebody you know. Right. In order for it to work, it has to be somebody you know, somebody you admire, somebody you respect, or maybe even love. And it feels good. I mean, if you're 7 years old and somebody, which I was trying to say this to my friends who had children, you're 7 years old and someone is it feels good. Right. Even though you don't have a name for what that is, it feels good.
Now, Oprah said this in an interview from the Michael Jackson documentary, Leaving Neverland. Now, in part 2, we're going to talk about how she's a fake-ass bitch for that interview and how she just very well may be the devil herself.
Is our president real?
Your voice sounds a little different. Are you okay?
I'm okay. I have a test every day to see a COVID test. I've checking for all the strands. What I have is a 1.5-year-old grandson who had a cold who likes to kiss his pop. And he's been kissing my...
Over 200 people go missing off of cruise ships a year.
I hate to burst everyone's bubble, but this is most likely not some sort of large conspiratorial event where people are being abducted or kidnapped or anything like that, but something far more strange. This strange phenomenon of disappearances is most likely caused by something known as the call of the void. There's a common phenomenon that I'm pretty sure everyone watching this video has experienced at least once or twice in their life, maybe more, where you go on the edge of a cliff, or you go on top of a building, and you feel the urge to jump. Or maybe you're on a boat and you feel the urge to jump in. This is known as the call of the void. And science really can't explain what this is. There are many theories, but no one can really put a finger on it. Because it's an almost completely subconscious urge that almost seems as quickly as it appears, it disappears. For those of you who ever read the poem by Homer known as the Odyssey, there's something called sirens, which were mythological creatures that would seduce sailors into jumping in the water and drowning. Could it be possible that these sailors really fell victim to the call of the void?
I found Epstein in a children's playground.
What are you doing here, bud?
Waiting for somebody.
You look like Jeffrey Epstein.
Nope. Don't know that guy.
Moment seen in this video as the suspect accesses the lobby. Seconds later, the woman knew he was around the corner and she quickly tried to open her apartment lock. Her instincts spot on.
Hey, yo, Mitch.
He came right after her, determined to get inside.
I came inside, and then right away I just screamed, somebody's following me. Like, he was literally 1 second from coming inside.
As she watches this video, she knows she was very lucky.
Leonardo da Vinci knew some disturbing things. That's why he hid them in his paintings. What do you think?
There's a viral video of Drew Barrymore basically frolicking and dancing in the rain.
If you know anything about Drew Barrymore's childhood and upbringing, she was smoking cigarettes and doing pot and drinking alcohol all under the age of 12.
The conspiracy theory is that Drew Barrymore's mother used her as a child as a form of guarantee, basically giving her to the Hollywood elites. Her first audition was when she was 1 year old. She would go clubbing with her mother. The 7-year-old kid is when she began drinking. She would pour alcohol in her ice cream.
Wow.
And that was her gateway into becoming an alcoholic, and then later she would be introduced to drugs by probably strangers in the club or her mom's friends. You see her as a child just wearing heavy makeup and just being propped up and just being basically portrayed as like a mature woman, and she was treated as a mature woman by her own mother, who I think was courting her and teaching her the ways of Hollywood, which is to satisfy the elites, not ask questions, and to just accept everything that's done with you and find coping mechanisms, drinking and using drugs, and basically disassociating from what happened to her.
She seems so in tune with her inner child. Like, she just has this aura about her that's like very light and playful, and you know, just like you said, she's absorbing all of these like little moments, the psychology of it. She obviously had such a traumatic childhood that she's making up for it and trying so hard to like heal it now in her adult years.
Scariest conspiracy theories in the world that will seriously change your life. In this series, we'll be going through various conspiracy theories from different tiers. So this right here shows a list of the conspiracy theories in the world. At the top you get the most well-known, not so scary ones, to the right at the bottom, which will literally change the way you see the world. So if you're easily scared, do not watch this series and just keep on scrolling. But let's kick off part 2. So today we're speaking about the Titanic. Now there's lots of theories about what happened to the Titanic, but this one is huge. So the theory is that the Titanic never hit an iceberg, and that it actually sunk for a completely different reason which you will not believe. So let's go. So we all know the Titanic did sink, because that's a fact. But photos came out from before it sank showing this. Literally a burn area, and that is where the boiler room was. You know, all fires and stuff there, so maybe a fire broke out. Now, this is where it gets even crazier. Several people who were on the Titanic but survived it said this. They were all interviewed on various different grounds, and not one of them mentioned anything about an iceberg. No one said anything about it. However, several people said that there was a fire. The fire broke out in the boiler room before they set sail, and they thought maybe that had something to do with it. But when questioned again about, was there an iceberg? No one said yes. They all said, no, there was no iceberg. So what actually happened? This series is about to get extremely messed up, so make sure you hit that.
The lost city of Atlantis might have just been found in the Mauritanian desert.
Don't look so surprised. You knew it was going to be me. Firstly, it wasn't just found. This is one of the most well-documented geologic features in the entirety of the Sahara Desert. It is quite literally known as the Eye of the Sahara because of how impressive it is.
Coincidentally, being almost the exact size as Atlantis was described to be.
This is a running trend that we're going to see through this video. It's where this person will say something and it is wrong. It's a little hard to tell here because it's a satellite view, but the Richat structure is about 25 miles in diameter, or about 40 kilometers in diameter if you live in a country that sees healthcare as a basic human right. Since Plato obviously did not use imperial or metric, he describes Atlantis as being about 3,000 stadia in diameter. Now, since one stadia is around 600 feet, that would mean that Atlantis works out to be about 350 miles in diameter, which is about 550 kilometers if you live in a country that lost the space race. So either way, when you say that this is almost the same size as what Plato described Atlantis to be, I say you are definitely wrong.
Herodotus, who was tasked with the job of compiling the most accurate maps of his time, he places Atlantis in the same area as the structure.
Herodotus never made a map. Like, seriously, he never actually made a map. You are so bafflingly wrong about this that I can barely even wrap my head around it. The map which you are referencing was based off of the writings of Herodotus, and does not say Atlantis, it says Atlas. But I'll give you a gold sticker for participation. Also, the fact that you trust a map which is based off of the writings of a Greek historian who lived 2,500 years ago, more than modern archaeological and scientific evidence, is really sad.
With Atlantis described as having an opening to the south and an abundance of elephants, the opening can clearly be seen on satellite, and depictions of elephant carvings litter the area.
There's pictures of elephants near it? Well, Jesus Christ on a bike, it must be Atlantis. Is that seriously how far these conspiracy theorists have to reach? If this were an actual notable discovery, it would be based on like, oh yeah, we found the ruins of, countless buildings in the Richtdot structure. It would not be based on, oh, there is a cave painting of the same animal that Plato said lived near Atlantis. This is one of those videos that I'm pretty sure was just greenlit by a corporate shill to use as clickbait. With thumbnails like this and this variety of topics, I really don't think this person actually believes a damn word that's coming out of his mouth. Which is no less dangerous than an actual conspiracy theorist, it's just funny. But it's a damn shame, because the Richtdot structure he's talking about here actually has some unbelievable history around it, including history of human habitation. But since he won't, I can make a video about it if you guys want. But for now, I can't do this anymore, I have to go take a cold shower. But I'd like to thank you all very much for watching. If you like what I do here, feel free to give me a follow. And if you'd like to see my more long-form archaeological and conspiracy debunking videos, make sure to check me out on YouTube, link to that is in my bio, and follow me on Instagram and Twitter for a more personal look at my life. Remember to stay curious, stay inquisitive, and most importantly, remember that
We back outside. I mean, y'all know what time it is. Make sure y'all like the video, and matter of fact, this time comment, cause it's interesting to actually speak to y'all, and it kind of give me ideas on what to talk about next too. So make sure y'all comment. But anyways, excuse the bump on my lip, but we finna go. Man, today we gonna be talking about these clones. We gonna talk about the cloning. Clones. So first off, I always gotta ask, is it real? Short answer, yes. But to what extent? Like, how far does this cloning actually reach? Well, first off, we gotta remember that the TV is our reality and our life is an illusion. Meaning that everything that we see on TV, it actually is telling us the truth about this world. But the world that we live in, we are made to believe that everything we see on TV is just entertainment. It's just fiction, it's not real, but the truth is that it actually is. And so they put these ideas in front of us to actually show us what truly is going on in the world. And one of those ideas that they constantly present to us is the ideas of cloning. But we won't go too deep into that. Let's talk specifically about celebrity cloning, because that's the interesting one. Our first topic is going to be about Hobson, aka Gucci Mane. So is Gucci Mane a clone? In my personal opinion, no, he is not a clone. But hold on, Hobson is the one that is currently playing the role of Gucci Mane. That's why I said earlier, Hobson, aka Gucci Mane. How's he doing this? If you've ever seen the movie with Martin Lawrence called Big Mama's House, that's how these guys actually work for the government. And honestly, I can't say that every celebrity works for the government, but the big ones, they most definitely do. These guys are CIA and FBI agents. And being so, they have the means and capabilities that's necessary in order to come up with a whole new fake identity or even a whole new person. So they came to Hobson after Gucci Mane was eliminated from the scene and let him know that you were the one who fits the roles to play as Gucci Mane. And as atonement for Illmind of Hobson 5, this is what you're going to have to do. Because in Illmind of Hobson 5, Hobson ended up telling a whole lot of truth, and I highly recommend that y'all listen to that song. And so, just like in the movie Big Mama's House, they ended up giving him a bodysuit, and now Hobson is the one who plays as Gucci Mane. And in more recent interviews with Gucci Mane as well, you don't see his eyes, he wears shades. Make sure y'all like the video. We coming back with better content later on.